croissants. Today we have another flip through cookbook video, but today's is extra special. I found this at the thrift store. If you've watched me for a little bit, y'all will know I love an antique mall, thrift store, anything where I can find special little goodies. And I found the Sopranos Family Cookbook as compiled by amalzd. And this was $3.75. I'm a huge fan of the Sopranos. I've watched it like 9 times over. It's one of my favorite shows. So we're gonna go over the cookbook, and I might dip into my accent that pops out when I watch the Sopranos. I suddenly have an accent after I've watched it, but I hope that you guys enjoy this video. So on the front page, they're just eating around the table. We have Tony, Furio. I love Furio. Furio is my boyfriend. I love a man with a ponytail. And yes, he is in, the mafia, but he has a sweet side, and I like that about him. I will always be upset that him and Carmela did not have their happy ending. We have Silvio, Hesh, Paulie, Christopher. But we're just going to talk about the recipes in this book. So if that sounds good to you, then just keep watching. Go ahead and open the book. First, we have Livia. Livia pisses me off really badly, but great character. Unpopular opinion. I love Janice. Janice is an infuriating character, but the actress who plays Janice, she kills it. And Janice is very funny to me. Pavadi. So, the Sopranos Family Cookbook. And so, if you haven't watched it, Artie is the guy who has a restaurant in the show. And to me, Tony always has a soft spot for Artie. Tony's definitely like a narcissist. I don't know the proper name, but he somehow has, again, he's kind to Artie. So this is Artie. And they use his restaurant to kind of meet up at and eat. And Artie's restaurant is Vesuvia. Now, even though I've watched it a lot, I will probably get some things wrong. But Tony blows up Vesuvio because they want to do a hit at Vesuvio, and that's his way of saving Artie. I really love Tony. Tony is a horrible person, but I love his character. I want to do a video where I just talk about Sopranos, but you can see this page. They talk about fire destroys famed eatery. So this video is probably going to be less of recipes and me just talking about the Sopranos. Tony, played by James Gandolfini, I love James Gandolfini. To me, he is so handsome. This is what I think the most handsome man looks like. I love him a little tubby, receding hairline. He likes to eat, smoke a cigar. Shit, that's nice to me. But we have a recipe for marinara sauce. If you want to make your own sauce, I do that from time to time. Sunday gravy. I'm not going to get through the whole book because there's just too much. Lasagna. And I probably can't pronounce a lot of the things, so I'm just going to do my best. But Sopranos is just really near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite lines is, "So what? No fucking CD." We have Uncle June. Uncle June always reminds me of the guy from the Six Flags commercials. Love Uncle June. And the show's old. I'm always worried about spoiling things for people. So if I say something and you haven't watched it, you're like, "Amal, you spoiled it for me." You're gonna remind me of my aunt. When Passion of the Christ came out, we watched it very, very fast. And my aunt at the time, she was like, "Shh, I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want any spoilers." Uncle June, very old school Italian. So we're even doing things with a woman that was gay. Yeah, I can already tell this is going to be more of the Sopranos video than a recipe video. I really don't care what recipes are in this book. Uncle June again with his bald head. I love a bald-headed man. Very, mature, sexy. I like a bald head. Pasta fagioli, or that's how I've been told to say it. Pasta fagioli, but I've heard people say pasta fagioli. So a lot of, I guess, Italian words. Italian. I know that's not how you say it. Italian words, they'll have different pronunciations, especially if someone's Italian American. They'll kind of shorten things. The gabagool. Rigatoni with broccoli. Do you like London broil? I love it. I think it was Gloria. She hit Tony with the London broil. That was so real of her. Here we go. This is my girl, Janice. Janice. Love Janice. Rolling Stones tattoo. Pavardi. Janice is the wild card character. She's Tony's sister. Tony's other sister is a non-factor. She is whatever. You really don't get to know her. She's there for decoration. But Janice, she is a star. My ultimate schemer, scammer girl. She's gonna get right up in there. She's a very aggravating character. I do not condone Janice, but she's very funny. Like, there's a part in The Sopranos where she wants to get with this guy who's a recent widower, and so she just is very conniving in her ways of getting with him, and to me, again, it's horrible. But is it funny? Yes. Janice. Page pages, Sunday dinner, as remembered by Janice Soprano. Janice couldn't cook. She actually passes off, I think it's Carmela's lasagna, as her own at one point. And Uncle June has to be like, that's not her lasagna, that's Carmela's lasagna. Because she has a very distinct way of making it. This is Livia. So Livia is Tony's mother. And this actress, she actually passed away during filming, so they had to incorporate into the show. They were going to have her be a bigger character from what I've read. But again, you can't control life. You have to change up the storyline, and it influenced the way the show goes a bit. Chicken soup with orzo, roasted pepper salad, roast pork shoulder, a rib roast, my queen, Carmela Soprano. This is my girl. Carmela and Adriana are my favorite characters besides Tony. Tony's funny, and AJ. I'm an AJ apologist. I relate a lot to AJ. I like to listen to Coal Chamber. I was moody as a teenager. I am AJ Soprano. But yeah, Beating My Family. A chat with Carmela Soprano. All her outfits, A+. She definitely shops at BB. She's always so cute. Played by Edie Falco. There's Jackie. I think Carmela's my favorite. If you go on the Sopranos subreddit, they're kind of Carmela haters. I don't get it. But I watch Breaking Bad, and I'm a Skylar apologist. Skylar, I don't want to hear any slander against Skylar. I will not accept any Skylar slander on my page. Beating My Family, a chat with Carmela Soprano. We have Hunter here and Meadow. I don't really care about Meadow. Meadow annoys me, honestly. In the corner, I'll show you. This is AJ. This is me. This is Carmela and Tony eating dinner. So James Gandolfini, from what I've read, they eat a lot in this show, but he actually ate in every scene. Like a lot of times actors, when they have to go eat, they're gonna pretend. Like bring the fork to your mouth, or, go through the motions. This man though, he lived life on the edge. And my favorite scene is with Tony, and he eats salsa out of a jar just with a spoon. That was so relevant. ZD Alforno. So what? No fucking ZD. We have baked chicken with potatoes, lemon, and oregano. I ate a lot of chicken. Pastina with ricotta. We have Artie. This is your main chef in the Sopranos world. They're eating not at the house. Artie. They're eating at his restaurant. He's holding it down. Artibuco. Veal piccata with capers. I love chicken piccata. I have had veal, but like I don't know if I don't get the appeal of veal. It just seemed very, very okay. But I love capers. Cooking for the whole familia. This is Artie. Let's see if I can kind of, with his wife Charmaine. Charmaine is a baddie. Charmaine, she is sick of everything. She can't stand most people because frankly, she's too good for most of them. And so she's just going along with Artie and kind of trying to push him and be like, hey, this is kind of bad, right? And Artie, you know, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. But this picture here, this is when they're at Livia's wake. She had just passed away, and they cater the event, and Janice, she pops in after forever. She's been the missing daughter, but suddenly she's found, and she's like, we should all say something nice about my mother. But really no one has anything nice to say about Livia. And so it's very awkward. We have Christopher and Adriana. My favorite interaction and scene between these two is when she introduces her friend to him, who is an undercover agent. And she thinks he's like hitting on her, and so when the undercover agent leaves, she's like, you said she had a nice ass. And he says, I was just trying to say something nice because she's your friend. I love that. Caesar salad, one of my favorite things to eat. I go nuts for a Caesar salad, especially with fried shrimp. It's gotta be fried shrimp. Then rage, guilt, loneliness, and food. Excerpts from Paper by Dr. Jennifer Melfi and Dr. Richard LaPena. I love Dr. Melfi, aka Dr. Melfi. She's one of my favorite characters. She's very well rounded out. She's a baddie. She's Tony's therapist. She should have fired him pretty much, I think, from like the get-go. I would be like, no, I can't see you. But to me, and I mean they do say it in the show, she's weirdly into Tony. Like she likes his dangerous side, and I like their interactions. She can't stand his ass though. And you get to see how she tries to help him, but to be honest, Tony is just a lost cause. Okay, you guys, that wraps up this video. I didn't want to make it too long, but if you liked me talking about mostly the Sopranos, not even the recipes, I really didn't talk about the recipes. I'll do more out of this book, or I'll just talk about the Sopranos. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.